gonna go grab Legend of Acryus from my vault. Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking so as well. Yep, here, may pass you lead so you can get, Whoa. Wait, the newest one? Oh! Oh! The ornament for, Flower Game stamp for, oh. Look at featured. Oh! And the Bright Dust. Oh, this is a good week to get on. Oh my golly, that was big. Wait, swap characters real quick. I'm getting the ornaments for my. I'm getting the ornament for my hunter. I think if I don't have it already. Get her. I'm claiming everything. Claiming all the ornaments for each character. Titan, I know I have 100%, but hunter, I know I don't. Maybe. Okay, hunter I do own. Change and Titan for sure I have it. Wait, so now... So wait... Oh, Titan is really good, because like with Titan, when you go to... Once you've claimed the one from this season, and you go to the tower, you get another one. Called, You get another one called Heart's Purity, which it has no, So on the original one, Heart's Pledge, it has that mark on it, but when you get the, When you get that variant, it'll give you a variant that doesn't have the... Yeah. No, just the Titan. The Titan gets one where... The Titan gets an extra one because it makes it so that the marking part is invisible. You go to the tower, and you're gonna go to the you're gonna go to the special delivery terminal, and you'll claim it from there, and it's called Heart's Purity. That's literally what it's called. And it's the best looking one. Because that's the one I have on my Titan. Okay, I need to go to my Warlock and see if Warlock got the same treatment, since now I own the class, and I think... I want to say Titan is the only one that got it. So since it's... I'm going to go to the tower, we're going to check and see what Banshee has as well. Not that it matters. I still want to see what he has. It's before expansion. Is there a quest? Okay, I guess we'll need to go there after this. Previous week probably, because I don't have anything when I'm all caught up, so. Oh, man. Yep. Okay, there's nothing in the special deliveries for Warlock when you have that. I'm joining you now. Oh, you're matchmaking. Seeing if Warlocks have it, but it looks like Titan is the only one that got it. Yep. Titan is the only one that got it, so... Yep. I want to know what Kat was talking about, because Kat was mentioning something last week about Rite of the Night. Wait, whoa, there's a new... Wait. There's a new emblem. Wait, I don't know, but there's a new emblem. No, there's a brand new one. My buddies have it right now. I haven't seen one in a while, so we're gonna find out. That is... Oh, that's the Triumph? No, it says right there, running the gauntlet. Dungeon Gauntlet. From start to finish. So that's what gives you... That's what probably gives you the emblem. Ah, Gift of the Emissary. There it is. And one final quest. Nope. Can we even go down there? Oh, I'm coming. Okay, it doesn't matter which thing we do it on? Oh. Oh, yep. Eternity. Yeah. Let's just get it done on that. It doesn't really matter. Oh, baby. We could go down there. Yeah. Yeah, I need to put on my IRL look for this. There we go. We can go. Oh, we're going down. What in the Charlie horse is this? Redeem a depth? What the frick is this? There's a button back here? Yeah. What happens when you do? Yeah, oh! Oh, this is what Kat was talking about! So... Okay, so, when you go near the weapon, and you have it attuned, you just automatically get that you get that weapon from the chest. You don't have to worry about getting it from that other one. But it does cost non-honorary manifolds to do this. I don't know how much. You're right. Look at our screen shares. Your theory was correct. So you go to one of these chests, you just open it and you get it. Yeah. Where is the shotgun? That's new specific. That's the scout. That's the... Oh, it takes 450. I just got a shiny. Daily purchase limit reached. Oh. Oh my god. Wait, did I just get... Wait, did you see... No way. With tactical mag, I'll take that. That's huge. Yeah, it says daily purchase limit reached, so you can only do this one at a time. You can only do this once. That is very dumb. Wait, what did it say? Daily purchase limit reached. So you gotta wait until tomorrow to do it again. So it's... What is going on? Huh. Even open a... Wait. Mystic. If we wanted to get back... We can do it. So, if you can attune for all these chests, theoretically, since I tried to do the rocket and it didn't give me a rocket, I wonder if it has to be the one that... You want me to start? You're fire team lead, Mystic. So, we should... So here's the thing. We can attune these. We can attune for all of these. But I think the weapon... I think whatever weapon is attuned is the one that you're gonna get from that chest. Because I think that's why I got the shotgun. Sure. I don't... Cat doesn't have the quest. Yep.
An old acquaintance
Oh.
among the hidden tells
Yep.
me that a
I did
Seraph
too.
complex recently powered on for the first time since the collapse. Shortly thereafter, Vex incursions were reported. Anna flagged the site as a potential pillory bunker. If the Vex gain
Yeah, you
access to
redeem the adept one. Don't forget. You want to redeem the adept, because that's an adept shiny that I just got.
it would be catastrophic.
Yep, I hear ya. Do you redeem a second chest? Cause that's what happened to me too. It did the same thing. Really? Once per day? Wait, once per day? No way. That's, honestly could be better, TBH?
And Vex are breaching the command matrix. Go.
Wait, Mystic, you seeing this too? Our super regen is going up like crazy. Yeah. Yeah. We're doing the final quest. I got it. I got it. I got it. You're chilling. Because I did this day one. I know. I know. I totally agree, because... We got, yeah. When you can just do the quest, yeah. Unless you're coming down to a time crunch to where, oh, my boss needs me for 45 plus hours. Or something. No. It's just normal. You'll be fine. Oh, shiny Terminus Horizon. Okay. I need to get this one over here. Cat, do you have Arc Attrition? Okay. I need to kill a Minotaur if anyone sees one. Yep. Got him.
Outside the Black Garden.
Oh.
Devoted to the darkness, or rather the witness.
I want to look at this Terminus Horizon I just pulled. That's shiny. Killing Tally, Eddy Current, and oh, hey guys, by the way, this is not the only thing that's giving us bonus drops. If we all go to Expert Quarter Blades and we're looking for three perk columns for the heresy weapons, you can get that too right now. So you can get a adept whatchamacallit with 3 perks. I think I have something that'll help out with this. Give me a minute. I'm gonna go up here. It is still the wire. Oh, of course. I wanted to well skate across, but I'm just gonna wait my super to regen. Oh my god, again. Yep, I'm bye-bye. Yep, I got you. In a turn, hey, mister, jog my memory for a quick second. We don't have to kill, like, those yellow bar things like we would in an ultimatum. Do we have to kill them in Eternity?
Could it be linked to my visions?
Okay.
Would the witness be interested
I had to be No, it is normal. You're right. Yeah, because I remember doing Ghost of the Deep on Eternity, and it was normal. So, yeah, we should be fine. We can run whatever then. Yep. Just gonna rally real quick. Yep, just shooting the Minotaur now. Now we're going. You just find the starting ending points. No, no. That's only in Eternity. I was asking you that earlier, but I just realized that, yep, I was asking you the same question I just asked. Yep. Yep. Come over to us, kitty. We're going up. Okay, I guess we do have to kill them. Oh, swabbing. I still have it. Yes, you guys did. I won't shoot mine yet. You guys know where it is? I'll get it. I got it. And cat, shoot that one if you have it. If not, I got it. Okay, my arc attrition ran out. We're gonna need to kill another Minotaur. Alright, Sam has it. You two can return. Don't worry about a Mystic. And then, yep. Okay, we can go up. I got a Mystic. Stall. Mystic, come with me for a split second. We got... You're gonna... So you know how we killed the Minotaur on each side? That's the starting point. There you go. Yep. Yep. Boss is spawning.
A Vex mine remains in this terminal like an open door. It's using the tower's arrays to connect with installations across Seoul.
Beats
This
me.
must be in preparation to imprison the submines. Breaking their connection could end this threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys. Hang on. Yep.
Guardian down.
I know where Rally is. Uh-oh. We gotta do it in order, in eternity. Updated. Triangle, diamond, triangle, diamond. Triangle first. Okay, first triangle done. Next one's diamond. Mystic, are you gonna... Yep, go ahead. Alright. Yep, you're good. Diamond. I'm working on it right now. Or not diamond, excuse me. I'm R-word. Yep, triangle. Cat, it's damage time. Does that answer your question?
Breaks, and so does their hold over the security systems. Perhaps now we can...
Long arm.
No! They're driving the reactor core to a meltdown. It's going prompt critical. Those
Nope.
power surges
1K.
were intentional. Get to the reactor.
Yep, 1K staggers the boss. So every explosion that you apply to the boss, he'll just get stunned each time we hit his crit with 1K. It's what we did for... It's what me and Mystic did for the first week of Ultimatum. When this had dropped. I have eyes on the conduit Minotaur. He's doing gauntlet mode with me and Mystic right now, Turk.
My visions have merit. We must secure the complex to convince Ikora. Trust is a frail thing, much as our mission. This can restore her faith in me. I need this.
Guardian down.
Yep, expansion's next Tuesday.
Maximize the Rex power to the reactor. Kill it, and the complex should stabilize.
You guys ready to start? Okay. Heard Mystic. Square diamond. Left side first. Mystic's getting it. Cat, stay with me. We're gonna get right side done. Boss is in. It's damage. Free Arc Attrition for rebuff, if anyone needs it. I got it. Let Sam do it. Yeah. I gotta go reacquire Arc Attrition. Unless you guys have it. Damage.
Multi-front attack. Sabotage us, glean knowledge, and annihilate any trace of advantage. Extrasolar colonies. Ages ago, Saint and I thought we'd leave the city once we'd made it safe. We'd explore the universe. That time never came. A matter of finite.
What happened? Okay, Cat, I'm gonna do something. So if we do that, wait.
I judge your actions.
Oh, you guys, okay?
The
Mister's
end
getting
is
a quest or some kind. Okay, Spire of the Watcher completed. Now I just gotta do Ghost and Prophecy. Mystic, what'd you get on that? Not the long arm, but I'm talking about the grenade launcher. Oh crap, you're redeeming that chest there. I need to go back to that. I'm doing something for you, Cat. I'm doing a little Fury. So if you reattune a different weapon, and you too, Mystic. So since we've picked up the shotgun and attuned it to a different weapon with this chest in here, I'm gonna check that and see if we get nothing again. Let's find out. Yeah, I tuned the grenade launcher. Where are you? Right there. Demon Adept. Nope! I got it this time. That was for Wilder Flight, not New Pacific Epitaph. Yep, let's go. Is there a cap to it? 99999. Sam found it. It's on me. It's on the hill, Mystic. Oh my god. Tragic. Lines. Parallel lines. Ignore Cat's burger call out. Is it not? I saw lines. You guys call that a burger? What? Oh, sorry, I'm just focusing, brother. I'm just chilling. I'm just chilling.
Guardian down.
Oh my god. It might be me, according to Carter. I still have to give him an answer yet.
Guardian down.
I should have just waited with you, Cat. I pulled a very dumb, stupid move. I'm dead. Legend of Acreus. Years and Lord. Oh, that one. If you're there, let me swap my weapons. Swapping weapons around. Which, Mystic, which shotgun are you using? You're using the one from Sundered? Okay. Found it. Alright, I'm ready. I got it, yep. Star, ice cream, dipping. Yeah. Yeah. There was. Oh, let's see. Yep, sounds on the wizard right now, as we speak. You guys ready for damage? Yep, starting it. Ooh, that's a pretty bad spot for breaking his shield. Yep. Yep. I'm coming, Cap. Nah. I'm right here. It won't matter. Yeah. You guys ready? Yep. All of right side, chest. Not that it matters, because chest is always the same one. It's dead. We killed it. He's... Great question. Okay. Yeah, I know. Okay. Yep. Heard. I got what you meant. You're chilling. I understood. Wait. What? You guys don't have a Oh, Cat did this room? You sure? Hey, you guys are going faster than I am. Holy shart. Is mine last? You guys are... Oh, okay. Coming.
Picking you up again. The signal's clearing and I'm receiving your ghost's feed of... Is that... Oryx? Were the Lucent Hive trying to... This was a ritual to resurrect the taken king. By force? We're lucky you were able to stop this, Guardian. I don't even know if what they were trying to do here was possible, but the risk alone. I'm going to contact Ikora immediately. She'll want the Hidden to secure Oryx's remains for study.
Is it gonna count for the quest, though? Okay. Yeah. I found it. Ooh, Shining Judgment. I wonder what I got on that. Demo Paracausal Affinity with Precision Instrument and Keep Away. We're saying it was bad or good? Okay. Good to know. Start it. Dark first. Sam will pick up. Dark again. Light this time. Dark. It is light. Oh my God. Mystic, you just take it, honest to God. I can't be bothered right now. There's a healing nade. Take that. I must have fixed the bug last week. Shiny shotgun again? What did I get on it this time, I wonder? Are you shatter skating across, Mystic? Alright. Do the thing. Yeah, I can do that.
Guardian down.
You sure? I mean... I'm staying. Yep. Got it. Yeah, we might be dead here. Yeah. I mean, if you could too, if you want me to as well, I could wall skate across. I was gonna try it, but... That's whatever. It's fine. You're already doing the thing anyway. Okay, you and I, we just need to extend the timer. Excellent. Yep. Too dark, one light. Big enough dark. Yep. Who, who picked up? Was it you? I missed. Oh, Cat got it. Excellent. Yep. Yep. I got armor for the first time. Crazy. Yep, and quest is done.
That's some bloodlust, hero. It hit me when you were tearing that last pack of Taken apart. What the Nine are trying to say. Light, dark, it don't matter.
Light and dark are not the same.
Didn't say the same, just the difference don't matter.
Yep, turn to the emissary. I'm also going to do the same too. How long will you be gone for, Mystic? Are you gonna be gone for the rest of the night, Corio? Or okay. Yeah. I know I gotta run to town at some point. Grab that chip dip that someone made for me because it was supposed to be a belated birthday gift that I was supposed to get, but Appleons, that's so easy. That's so free.
I
So what do
judge
we
your
get from completing Honorary? How much Honorary? How much Honorary manifolds do we get from that? Just one? Was it just one? Oh no, I'm at 1,496. Okay. So these are the things that you can get. Patient Zero? Do I have that? Do I have that on my outbreak? I know I have the gun, but I just curious if I have the ornament. I don't have Patient Zero. Huh. That's the only outbreak ornament I'm missing. But, I don't care if I have it or not.
This is the last time. Live well.
So now, hey, Cat, hey, remember, Cat, reattune, then go up to the top of the spire. It can give you a weapon. I know it can, because I tried it. I reattuned, went up to the top of the spire. Huh? Oh. I will be doing the same here in a second. I'm just gonna go to the top of these podiums here and see if I can't claim what you guys did earlier. If you guys were able to do that. No to that one. Maybe it's just the only recent ones that you did. Or if you haven't already. So those are one time. Because I've claimed all 3 of those. See you later, cat. What weapon did I tune? Did I tune the SMG? Yeah, I did. See if I don't get another, here's the SMG. Redeem Adept. Requires Terminus Horizon Adept Acquisition. Ooh. That's good to know. That looks like New Pacific Epitaph. Okay. Right of the 9. Launch. We're gonna reattune. Because it'll bug out if you don't have that specific weapon attuned in the chest. Who's all online right now? Let me see. You are, but you're doing something with a buddy. This is my best shotgun roll. If I got that on a shiny with both of them, that would be kind of nuts. Ooh, this has Envious, and this also has Envious. This one doesn't. This one does, but with... Yeah, this is the best shotgun. This one's probably the best. That one, not so much, only because of Assault Mag, but this one here is the one I would want. Let's see here. Not using that. I want to upgrade this one so I can get both Unrelenting and Lead on the same one. That would be a major upgrade for vault space. If I can get the new specific epitaph, that would be huge, because then, the would be an upgrade to our one that we have in the vault, currently stored. I'm gonna go open this up, and then after that I'm gonna go grab food. Okay, I got nothing, even though I added attuned. Huh. Fascinating. Hmm. Okay, I got the auto from that this time. But not a great roll. But you do reach the daily purchase. And that costs a lot of manifolds. So it requires 450 for the adept, 325 for the regular. Huh. That's what Kat was saying earlier. We'll be back, chat. Screen share. I'm doing it. I'm setting it up now. There we go. Got it. Let me get web browser thing on. Or audio settings. Properties. There we go. Got it. I press play on it.
Has lived so many lives in Destiny. She was a Golden Age human, and then awoken,
It's
and then a
3 minutes and 37 seconds. Yeah, it is.
guardian, and most recently became emissary of the Nine. But it turns out it's an awful job. It radically alters your body. You surrender your control to beings much larger and more powerful than yourself. Orin traded liberty for power, and she's realizing it wasn't worth it. And so she makes a big choice. She chooses to quit. Leaving the emissary position with a vacancy the Nine need to fill means that she's got one more role to play. Mentor to her replacement. Orin is reclaiming her agency. And when she makes that choice to quit, it raises a dozen new questions. What can happen if the emissary isn't around to stop something? What does quitting a 4-dimensional job do to a 3-dimensional brain? And most importantly, who is her replacement? How hard are the Nine going to have to search to find one? This release is about serendipity, that magical sense of finding desirable connections by chance, except here, chance isn't involved at all. Something more powerful than we are is. Great stories aren't built on the plot happening to characters. It's built on characters making choices that change the world. And Orin's choice to quit is what ignites the entire saga.
My will is my own.
World tiers are a new way to stack challenge in a way that players can directly control and earn better rewards for it. Each world tier increases the power delta versus enemies, adds new banes that change the way you approach encounters, and unlocks more secrets and pursuits to chase on Kepler. The higher you go in world tiers, the more you might need your fire team to get the job done. Because Kepler's highly focused on exploration and open world combat, we wanted to make sure the entire destination offered a challenge level that players were eager to engage with. World tiers 1 and 2 are available immediately, equivalent to a Brave and Legendary campaign. World tiers 3 and 4 unlock after your first campaign completion on either difficulty, and the challenge feels more like an exotic mission or a master tier nightfall.
Oh.
As you unlock later world tiers, you'll find more opportunities to leverage your destination abilities, more secrets to find scattered throughout the world, and even some exotic pursuits. As you complete higher world tiers, you'll be earning higher tier loot as well. Players can work their way through legendary and fabled tiers, climbing in gear tier and power. And then on Mythic, the highest world tier on Kepler, you'll also be able to unlock a unique
I
armor
cannot
variant
wait to
with
get
its
the
own set
Bushido
bonus.
set. Oh my lord.
This system is really about charting your
Translogging.
own course, coming up with new strategies, uncovering hidden secrets, and earning cool loot along the way.
Mm-hmm.
We've taken our classic chicken sandwich to the
express just how big the changes are coming. Everything you know about melees inside of Edge of Fate is about to change. A few TWABs ago, Bungie opened up with what appeared to be the largest set of nerfs we had ever seen. Not gonna lie, fellas, in that first half, your boy was about to close down the stream. I was like, dude, Bungie has lost their mind. But then, as the TWAB continued, we got to see massive buffs being laid out. But here's the thing, the way melees and our damage buffs are gonna stack in Edge of Fate is changing. And today we're gonna be diving into all the information we have in front of us, giving you pre and post values right now based on what Bungie has disclosed to us. We are gonna do our best today to accurately narrow down on these changes, to give you number values right here and now. That way you have a better idea of what is or isn't going to be better in Edge of Fate. Now, before we get into the numbers, we do need to talk about what is in fact changing. For the sake of time, this is going to be a simplified TLDR of that TWAB from a few weeks ago. With the Edge of Fate, melee damage increases are changing from multiplicative to additive. Now, to give you a rough example of what that means, let's say you have a base melee damage of 100. We are then given one damage buff, which gives it 200% increase to our melee damage. That is a 3-time multiplier, which increases our melee damage to 300. Then if we add in another damage buff, which is a 50% increase to our melee damage, that is a 1.5 times increase. In a multiplicative system, you would then first multiply the base damage, that 3 times, for that 300 total damage, as stated earlier, and then multiply it by 1.5, which would then give you 350% increase in damage, or in this case, a 4.5 times multiplier, giving us 450 total damage. In the new Edge of Fate system, all buffs will be additive. So if we take that same example of that 200% increase in damage and that 50% increase in damage, we then add those together instead of multiplying. And that would actually give us 250% increase in damage. Or in this case, a 3.5 time multiplier, spitting out a total damage of 350. So you can see why multiplicative is so much stronger with multiple stacking damage buffs, which is why in the second half of that TWID, Bungie was hitting us with a ton of major buffs to make up for this difference. Now, for those wondering why is Bungie doing this, it's all for the sake of balance, or in this case, balance in an Armor 3.0 world. In Edge of Fate, we're gonna have 200 stats, and these things are gonna be buffing our damage, and Bungie definitely wants to make sure our builds don't get out of hand. However, Armor 3.0 is an outlier in itself. You see, Bungie will now allow stats to go all the way to 200. And if you fully spec 200 points into, say, your melee stats, this will give you a 30% increase in damage. However, this is multiplicative, and this is the only multiplicative bonus you can get for your melee damage moving forward. So if we take our previous example numbers, the 200% increase and the 50% increase, we still add those together at 250%. Then we multiply this percentage by a 30%, which would be a 1.3 time multiplier, resulting in a total damage increase of 325%, or in this case, a 4.25 times multiplier, thus spitting out 425 total damage. Now, there's also a few other things that Bungie's making changes to come Edge of Fate. Number one, melee damage in the Edge of Fate will no longer scale Scorch and Ignition damage. Similar to how Bungie changed Jolt damage scaling a while back. The big nerf on this one, of course, will be Consecration builds, and we're going to touch on that here shortly. Our final notes. Today, we are just working with theoretical numbers, as well as comparisons based on our current sandbox. When the Edge of Fate launches, damage scaling across the entire game will be simplified to display real damage values. So what I'm trying to say is your damage numbers post Edge of Fate are going to look way smaller, and that's because everything is getting squished but normalized across the game. Now, for the sake of simplicity in this video, we're keeping things 1-to-1, meaning we're not actually going to be squishing the damage values down, because we don't really know exactly how squished we're going to be. So if we're saying things like, hey, you're going to be doing 30,500 damage instead of 30,000 damage in the next expansion, understand what we're really trying to display there is the percentage change from base melee to buff melee. Both of those numbers will be substantially squished in Edge of Fate, which takes us to our first class hunters. We have Combination Blow, which is a staple on both Arc and Prismatic. Testing at base melee, we're able to hit Carl for 8,685 damage. Then when you use Combination Blow times 3, as well as Lara's Handshake, you throw in Stylus Executioner, Facet of Courage, this pumps that damage up to a whopping 290,188. Roughly 3,241%, or a 33.41 times multiplier. Now look at what to expect coming at Fate. We got Combination Blows 3 can be up to a 400% increase at max stacks, We've got Liar's Handshake also going up to 400% increase. We got Stylish going up to 300% increase, and Passive Courage, which will be a 50% increase. And then lastly, we have the 200 melee stat for our only multiplicative 30% increase. Now, all this together actually only gives us a total damage value of 141,131, which is a 1,525% increase, or a 16.25 times multiplier over our base melee. So as you can see from this specific example, overall combination blow builds are getting hit with a pretty substantial nerf. Now, you could potentially throw in either 1-2 punch or Bastion to get a higher number, but the point is that damage value would be more now than it will be in Edge of Fate. And if we included something like Bastion, the gap in damage between where we are now and where we're going to be in Edge of Fate is going to widen. In Edge of Fate, it's going to be an 18.85 times multiplier versus what we currently have, which is a 66.8 times multiplier. Guys, these are pretty substantial. Now, I know like 1-to-1, what Bungie's really trying to say is, hey, a single melee damage buff, that's good. You're great. You're going to be doing a lot of damage here. Hell, maybe even 2. But what you really start to see, and when I throw the comparisons up here, and we start tacking on more buffs to combination blow, is that more buffs being added on has a significant taper off at the end, which is exactly what Bungie's trying to do. They're trying to keep us from running away too far here with our melee damage. At the same time, it sucks, because as someone who loves to run around fisting my enemies, it is going to be noticeable how much less damage I'm doing with certain builds. Now, on the other side of things though, melees for more crowd control purposes, things like weighted throwing knife and threaded spike, actually end up with a buff. For Threaded Spike at base, we're dealing 19,041 damage. And when we tested with Spirit of Syntheseps, which gave us 50,457 damage, this being that 2.65 times multiplier at 165%, in Edge of Fate, that's going up. Because theoretically, with Syntheseps and a 200 melee stats, we would be doing 65,691 damage, which is a 3.45 times multiplier at 245% increase in damage. Then with Weighted Throwing Knife, at base, we're dealing 33,661. And then if you build using Arthur's Embrace and 1-2 punch, you would deal 201,964 damage, which is a whopping 500% increase over base, or 6 times multiplier. Now, in Edge of Fate, theoretically, with Arthur's increase going to 300% and 1-2 punch increase going to 150%, and our 200 melee stat bonuses, we would actually be doing 240,676 damage, or a 7.15 times multiplier at 615%. Now, something to note when using Arthur's Embrace is that this exotic intrinsically grants plus 50 strength while the buff is active. So in this case, we should only have to invest to 150 in our melee stats, but we would still get the 200 stat from the exotic itself, therefore giving us that multiplier. Something to keep in mind. Now, just taking these examples right here, you're noticing that yes, while things like Combination Blow look like they're getting absolutely destroyed on the high end of our buffs, you're also seeing a rotation into other melee-based builds that I think many people have never really entertained. Next up, though, a build that we're going to be keeping a close eye on is our Grapple Melee. You see, currently a Grapple Melee by itself does 41,688 damage. Now, if you add a number of things to this build, including Spirit of Syntheseps, Stylish Executioner, 1-2 punch, hell, even Banner of War, which is provided here by an ally, we were hitting 455,234 damage, which is a whopping 992% increase over base, or 10.92 times multiplier. Now, one of the options we calculated was using Combo Blow times 3, Banner of War, Spirit of Syntheseps, and Bastion, as it's now going to a 300% increase. Along with our 200 melee stats, we get a total of 577,379, which is a 1,285% increase, or a 13.85 times multiplier. Now, theoretically, in Edge of Fate,
1 second, you're worrying about your home.
Grapple melee combination will be higher than what we are doing currently. Now, where things get really crazy is the fact that grapple melee still currently benefits from, get this, grenade damage increases. Now, this doesn't surpass the current melee damage buff options. As far as we know, grenades will still use a multiplicative system. So unless Bungie changes how grenade buff stacks with grapple melees, it could still act as a multiplicative buff, theoretically allowing you to reach some crazy numbers. Well, we've calculated using Combination Blow times 3, Banner of War, Bastion, 200 melee stat increase, 200 grenade stat increase, and Verity's Brow from an exotic class item, all thrown together in theory could give us a damage value of 1,609,573 in Edge of Fates, which is an insane number to think about. we're talking 3,761% increase over our base number. That's a 38.61 times multiplier. In my opinion, there's no way Bungie's gonna let that fly. An increase from 455,000 damage all the way to over 1.6 million from a single grapple melee would be wild. You'll have teams out there trying to grapple melee the witness. Again, though, I don't expect this to work come Edge of Fate. We're going to assume it doesn't stack, but we will be keeping an eye on it just in case. Now, moving on to our Warlock melee options. I'm gonna be honest here, guys. Y'all don't have that many melee builds to begin with. You've got Lightning Surge, which at base was hitting for 59,671. And in terms of buffing Lightning Surge, really the best option would be Syntheseps, since this is mainly an ad clearing melee, and one we've definitely utilized in build battles. Now, currently in game, this combo deals 154,675 damage, which is a 165% increase in damage, or a 2.65 times multiplier. Now, come Edge of Fate, this will receive a buff because 1-2 Punch will now synergize with Lightning Surge. So if you did Spirit of Syntheseps, 1-2 Punch, 200 melee stats, theoretically your damage would be 321,925, giving us a whopping 440% increase in damage at a 5.4 times multiplier. You could potentially even use Bastion with this buff, but keep in mind it is a bit more awkward to hit a target with Bastion rather than just hitting one ad with a shotgun and then using Lightning Surge, but I'm sure some of you are going to figure it out. Now, Warlocks could also potentially build into Incinerator Snaps, but this is an example of something that will be nerfed due to melee damage no longer scaling ignitions. You see, currently at base, we're dealing 59,644 damage. Then with Winter's Guile, we're hitting 223,802 damage, which is a 275% increase in damage at a 3.75 times multiplier. In Edge of Fate, we do have Winter's Guile going up to 400% increase in damage paired with our 200 melee stats, but this still only gives us 188,602 theoretical damage, which is just a 260% increase in damage at a 3.16 times multiplier. I know, man, I miss the days of Mustang. Oh, what a time, right? Now, it's also worth mentioning that Pocket Singularity is getting a buff against non-boss combatants by 20%. And against boss combatants by, get this, 56%, which is what we chose to test against since it's the biggest increase. This has never really been a big damage dealing melee, and there's really not a lot of options to buff this either. Currently at base, it deals a measly 6,278 damage. Then testing with Spirit of the Syntheseps, we were able to deal 16,636 damage for our 165% increase at a 2.65 times multiplier. Now, in Edge of Fate, if you take this into account, that 56% increase to our base melee, you take Spirit of Syntheseps, you could use 1-2 Punch, 200 melee stats. This would give us a theoretical damage value of 52,839, which is quite a big jump. I mean, we're talking 742% increase to what Pocket Singularity does at its current form. Personally, I'm not going to be going out of my way to use Pocket Singularity inside of PvE, but if you want to, go right ahead, Warlocks. You guys already throw just by existing. Now, the only other thing really of note on a Warlock you could take advantage of would be Grapple Melee. Again, at base, Grapple Melee does 41,688 damage, and in game, we tested with Banner of War, Bastion, Winter's Guile, and this gave us 437,724 damage, which is a 950% increase over base at a 10.5 times multiplier. Now, again, we're going to assume that grenade stacking won't work in Edge of Fate, but even without that, Warlock Grapple Melee would be getting buffed as well. Our calculation when using Banner of War, Bastion, Winter's Guile, and a 200 melee stat ends up at 487,749, which I know is only an 11% increase in damage from our current pre-numbers, but an increase nonetheless. Then finally, we have our true melee class, Titan. Starting off, let's talk about Consecration, which as you probably expected is definitely going to be hurt by the ignition changes. Now, along with the melee increase no longer buffing ignitions in Edge of Fate, Consecration is also losing its 20% bonus damage it does to ignitions, which to be fair, at least in our testing, we didn't find that 20% to always proc anyways. Now, based with Consecration, we did a total of 69,447 damage. Then with our current build, we tested using Syntheseps and Knockouts, which gave us a total damage of 273,557, which is a 294% increase over base at a 3.94 times multiplier. In Edge of Fate though, using this same combination with 200 melee and taking into account the ignition nerf, we should be doing around 176,449 damage. damage, which is roughly 154% increase at a 2.54 times multiplier. So you can pretty clearly see here where consecration falls off. I think it's still going to be good for crowd control and maybe even like a mini boss, perhaps some champions, but it definitely is getting nerfed. And I, for one, am probably going to be looking elsewhere for other melee-based builds. Now, something that does seem like it would be better in Edge of Fate, though, is going to be Bonk. This is one that has definitely fallen off over the years, as at one time, Bonk was everything. It was the original consecration. Currently at base, though, our throwing hammer is hitting for 28,852. Then using Syntheseps, Roaring Flames times 3, we're able to deal 101,766 damage, with our throwing hammer giving us a 252% increase at a 3.52 times multiplier. In Edge of Fates, a throwing 1-2 punch and a 200 melee stat into the mix, we will be doing around 230,816 damage, which is a 700% increase over a base throwing hammer at an 8-point times multiplier. Now, the damage numbers look really good here. Hopefully, though, the new Titan exotic, where we can literally recall our hammer back to us, I'm really hoping that that's really going to elevate Bonk, and I never have to consider Syntheseps. Now, Fletched Storm is another melee option that is arguably one of my favorite aspects in the game, especially with Wishful Ignorance. The animation is so cool, but sadly, it's been pretty underwhelming. At base, with all 5 melee hits, we're dealing 167,940 damage. Now, when we tack on things like Banner of War, Wishful Ignorance, that kicks us up to 322,109 damage, which is around a 92% increase at a 1.92 times multiplier. Now, let me just say, Fletched Storm and Wishful Ignorance is going to be so strong in Edge of Fates. If we were to include this same setup, plus the 200 melee stats, this increases our damage to a whopping 713,900.
You guys seeing this?
Damage.
Look at that. Edge of Fate total 713,912. Wish. Wow. I think I still have that in my vault, don't I? I think I have Wishful. I think I still have Wishful Ignorance in my vault. Well, I'd have to exit full screen to find out, but I want to keep watching anyway. Huh?
Guys, that's 325% at a 4.25 times multiplier. I cannot express just how good Wishful Ignorance and Fletched Storm is about to be in this next sandbox. Another popular option for my Titan class is, of course, Peregrine Greaves. Now, in terms of damage against bosses, tormentors, and champions, there is no change there. It'll still be a 1,000% increase. But against other enemy types, though, it's going to go from a 363% buff to a 400% buff. So for this testing, we specifically did it against a boss, but we're going to touch on champions and mini boss numbers as well. Seismic Strike here at base, we're hitting for 25,190 damage. Then stacking Peregrine and Knockout, we're hitting for 138,364, giving us that 449% increase of damage at a 5.49 times multiplier. In Edge of Fates, calculating Peregrine Greaves, knockouts, and a melee stat of 200, we're sitting at 185,260 damage, giving us a 635% increase over base. In terms of mini boss damage, again, it's still going to be that 1,000%. For an example, currently, if you were using Seismic Strike along with Peregrine and Knockout together against a mini boss, this would be a 1,550% increase in damage over base, or roughly 16.5 time multiplier. Now, come Edge of Fate, again, we have our 1,000% increase against mini bosses with Peregrine, but with Knockout, it's 160% increase, but keep in mind, this is additive. So realistically, if you're looking to get the same damage with the Greave Knockout combo, you're going to need 200 melee for that 30% multiplicative increase. So in Edge of Fate, you're going to be looking somewhere around 1,538% at a 16.38 times multiplier. So yes, you will be doing more damage at 200 melee stats, but it is somewhat close. I think the biggest emphasis here, guys, is like even if you aren't proccing Knockout, because like the Knockout additive buff is kind of whatever. It's that multiplicative 200 stat buff that's going to make all the difference. Across the board though, guys, Greaves is actually looking to get a bit of an upgrade, doing decently more, but nothing too crazy. Now moving on to Hammer Strike. Our base damage was the same as Seismic, dealing 25,190 damage. Currently testing this with Peregrine and Roaring Flames times 3. This gives us 109,356 damage, which is a 334% increase over base at a 4.9 1.34 times multiplier. Then calculating for Edge of Fate using Greaves, Roaring Flames times 3, which is getting a massive buff from 73% to 200%, and also is no longer decreased when using Peregrine Greaves. If you calculate that alongside a 200 melee stat, this gives us a theoretical total damage here of 176,834. So roughly a 602% increase in damage at a 7.02 times multiplier. Now, less than Knockout and Greaves, but comparable. Then we have our Shield Bash, which again is the same base of 25,109 damage. Testing currently, if you've got Greaves and Offensive Bulwark, you're able to deal 184,486 damage, giving us a 632% increase over base at a 7.32 times multiplier. Then calculating for Edge of Fate, we've got Greaves, Offensive Bulwark, and a 200 melee stats, and we get a damage value of 185,260, giving us an increase of 635%, or 7.35 times multiplier. Now this one here is pretty much just a side grade, as it's just going to be dealing less than 1,000 extra damage, but of course this is all taken into account our 200 melee stats. Now if you're trying to maximize damage and use either 1-2 punch or Bastion and Edge of Fate, your shoulder charge damage would be lower than what you could do now. However, in our testing, we found that the timing is really difficult to incorporate. So if you're just using shoulder charge with a few buffs, you should be seeing an increase in Edge of Fate. Now, Shield Throw is also getting a buff come Edge of Fate, but not necessarily to its damage. It's essentially receiving a 77% increase to its projectile tracking, which we'll take. Hell, it needed it, man. Currently at base, though, Shield Throw hits Carl for 22,441 damage. Now, there aren't really a lot of things that can buff Shield Throw. Could you use Syntheseps? Sure, but most people that are using Shield Throw are probably rocking second chance. So for our testing, we just use Offensive Bulwark, which allows us to do 44,881 damage, which is a 100% increase over base at a 2 times multiplier. Now, come Edge of Fate, Shield Throw will work with 1-2 punch. So if you combine that with our 200 melee stats, this could give us a theoretical damage value of 119,611, which is a whopping 433% increase over base at a 5.33 times multiplier. Now, although this doesn't have a lot of buffing options, Captain America build for Edge of Fate is looking pretty hot. Now, the last thing on time we wanted to talk about is our grapple melee, which just like with our previous classes, we will be seeing an increase on Titan as well. Again, at base, this does 41,688 damage. When you combine this with Banner of War, Bastion, and even Worm Gods, we can hit for a whopping 437,724, giving us that 950% increase in damage at a 10.5 times multiplier. Come Edge of Fate, though, assuming grenade stacking doesn't work here, we'll be doing 487,749, which is a 1,070% increase over its base at 11.7 times multiplier. Now, there was one final melee change to discuss, which deserved its own section, and that is for Glaives. Unfortunately, Glaives are getting hit pretty hard, but to help counteract these nerfs, there's also a lot of ease of use buffs happening, which should make damage stacking with Glaives a lot easier and won't give as many penalties as you currently experience. Across the board, they're getting nerfed against all enemy types, that being minors and majors by 40%, champions and mini bosses by 28.5%, and then bosses and vehicles by 50%. Now, since bosses were the biggest nerf for these damage calculations, I wanted to see specifically what we're looking like against Greg instead of Carl here. Because of these decreases, Glaive melee is now considered an unpowered melee, meaning it can take full advantage of things like Syntheseps, Knockout, Worm God, Combination Blow, and many more things that previously either didn't synergize or couldn't receive the full damage bonus. Now, due to this change, Glaives will no longer benefit from the weapon damage bonuses such as Radiance, Well of Radiance, Lumina, etc. Now, getting into our Glaive numbers now, at base, a single Glaive melee does 11,644 against our boss that we tested on. Now, for our damage stacking test in-game currently, on all classes, we tested out the same combination of either Winter Bites or a legendary Glaive with close to melee, along with Banner of War, Syntheseps, and Well of Radiance. Currently with Winter Bites, we are dealing 54,580 damage, which is a 369% increase over base at a 4.69 times multiplier. And then with close to melee instead of Winter Bites, on this legendary Glaive, we're able to deal 47,303 damage, which is a 306% increase. Now, something to keep in mind is that Glaives also have that combo now. It's a beautiful change Bungie added in Heresy, where the third hit does increase damage. Now, we're not going to factor that into our calculations here, since we're just really focused focusing on the single hit damage, and you can of course carry on those percentages to that third hit. Now the reason why we chose to do our numbers based on boss damage is because the 50% decrease against bosses is the biggest glaive nerf. And on top of that, Winter Bite's damage increase when your magazine is full is being reduced from a 50% increase against bosses to only a 20% increase. Keep in mind, at one time, Winter Bite could shred bosses. I loved using Winter Bite to go in there and poke enemies and bosses to death. Now this is going to result in a huge nerf to glaive damage against bosses, but especially to Winter Bites. Now our ideal melee build on Hunter now, with various buffs and new stacking capabilities, would be Combination Blow ×3, Banner of War, Trident Vice, and then we could take into account the Winter Bite nerf. The overall glaive nerf and our melee 200 stat damage bonus would give us a damage value of 62,063, which is a 433% increase in damage over our base melee at a 5.33 times multiplier. Now close to melee, which is a glaive perk, is another melee option that is getting a buff, going from 30% to 60%. And get this, will actually end up doing more damage than Winter Bite. With that same setup, but on a normal legendary close to melee glaive, we would be doing 65,090 damage, which in this case is a 459% increase at a 5.59 times multiplier. Now, no lie, Winter Bite looks rough. I mean, bad. There ain't no way Bungie's about to shift this thing and allow it to do less damage than a legendary glaive that's not even in the heavy slots. It's being speculated that just maybe Winter Bite's increased damage when the magazine is full might be a multiplicative buff instead of an additive buff, which it desperately needs. But even if we roll those numbers forward, we're sitting at 72,659 damage. To be honest with you guys, that still is not worth it. We'll be running the numbers post, but to me, Winter Bite is dead. Now, if we take a look at our other classes on Warlock, our ideal setup would be our close to melee glaive, Banner of War, Syntheseps, and then taking into account the glaive nerf, but a 200 stat increase. This would give us 32,137 damage, which is only a 176% increase over base at a 2.76 times multiplier. Now, if we took Winter Bite in this case, and again, if it happens to be multiplicative, we're still only looking at 33,185 damage. So for my Warlocks, glaive builds are no bueno. Then finally, we have our Titans. Ideally, you would want to use a close to melee glaive and Worm Gods, since they won't be reduced with glaives anymore. Now, if you slap on Banner of War and Offensive Bulwark, which I know requires some hoops to jump through, but we're just trying to tack on a lot of different stacking buffs here. Then, if you take into account the glaive nerf, but our 200 melee stats, this actually cranks our damage to 62,063, which is a 433% increase. And then again, in the event Winter Bite's melee damage is actually multiplicative, that would
when your kid
instead give us 69,049 damage, so a 493% increase. Keep in mind though, guys, here we're showing you like the highest point of all the stacking damage buffs. At the end of the day, what's really feasible? I think that's very important to keep in mind. I definitely wanted to show you on the highest end of the spectrum what you'll be able to get your damage buffs up to, but at the same time, in the heat of battle, it's important to note what your build could pull off consistently. I think the biggest takeaway from all this though is that legendary glaives, especially if you're using close to melee, are going to be the way to go in terms of glaive melee builds. Winter Bite is doing more damage, but at the same time, it's doing less damage than legendary glaives. And this is just one of those things we're gonna have to look at pre and post, because I'm kind of just scratching my head. Winter Bite, of course, is being speculated to be a multiplicative buff with its perk active rather than additive, but this is just something we're only speculating, and we won't know until Edge of Fate, or even maybe if Bungie gives us clarification from now until next week. What I will say though is, Hunters, you guys are looking pretty good with Trident Vice. And in my opinion, I think Hunters are actually gonna be more of the glaive class moving forward. Titans using Worm Gods aren't that far behind either. Syntheseps does have the ease of use, but definitely doesn't have the damage that Worm Gods has. Now, to sum up all of the changes that we've discussed today, the short answer is that builds which previously had a lot of different buffs going on, such as Combination Blow on Hunters, or things that rely on buffing ignition, such as Consecration builds, will be worse in Edge of Fate. More neutral game builds, such as Bonk Hammer, Lightning Surge, Weighted Throwing Knife, Threaded Spike, and especially Fletched Storm, will be doing a lot better in the Edge of Fate. And then pretty much across the board on all three classes, grapple melee builds will be doing better in the Edge of Fate compared to what they do now. And if Bungie does allow for grenade stacking to continue for our grapple melees, and it happens to be multiplicative, then grapple melee is going to absolutely break the game. Again, we don't think that's going to happen, but we'll definitely be testing just to see. Overall, I do hate seeing things get nerfed. At the same time, I look at Fletched Storm and Wishful Ignorance, and my mouth waters. I can't wait to give those builds a go. But I think what testing the numbers really showed me is that that investing into a tuner stat is going to be a necessity. As
Oh.
much as I'm sitting there going, oh, 30% multiplicative bonus, heck yeah. Many of our builds are going to need that 30% in order to bring it up to parity to what we have currently in the game, with of course some outliers greatly exceeding that. And as we get into Edge of Fate, whether it's a grenade-based build, a strength-based build, hell, a weapons-based build, the point is that you're gonna have dedicated builds with a major emphasis on investing your stat points to really get the most out of your builds. So that's it, guys. That is our melee breakdown. Our theoretical numbers. We got some nerfs, we got some buffs. You see some of the outliers already, so feel free to build into that accordingly right now. We've got 3 videos coming out this week, 1 for each class. It's gonna go over some builds we highly recommend going into Edge of Fate, so be looking out for those. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.
There it is.
Whopping.
Holy mackerel. A final shape base melee damage with fletchling and wishful ignorance, span of war. That's 167,000. Final shape total. Yeah, I do main warlock. Titan's my backup. Oh, this one's important right here. 300. Okay, wait a minute. So this is with Lightning Surge and Sympho, because I have a build for this. Final shape base is 59,671. Total is 154,000 for final shape. Edge of Fate's gonna be 321. I need to see gameplay of that. Let me put that build on. Need to put some of these in the vault. Okay. There we go. Mystic's a hunter, man. You could ask him. Or, yeah.
Nothing to help you but your team and your weapon. Fight! Come back and fight again.
Alright. That's gonna be convenient. Oh, chat, we're gonna give you guys a quick PSA before I end the stream. This is your final week before to prep for any of the exotics, any weapons that you're missing, anything. This is your last week to do so. So if you haven't done anything, I'd start grinding now. And, you can get double drops from right of the 9 right now. So farm those dungeons up, farm your god rolls, go to Court of Blades if you haven't gotten your god rolls of those either. Get those 3 perk columns, obviously, if you need to. Farm any armor that you think would be really good. As much as else, I would say, farm up materials, get those bounties completed. But other than that, next week's looking like we're going to be doing a marathon stream, so those are coming back. Other than that, don't got much else for you guys. Just farm the armor, farm your weapons, make any builds that you haven't thought of yet that are going to be very strong from the YouTubers, including myself, probably. Any that you saw on screen, probably like Speaker, Warlock, and definitely the Carpet Bomb spam. And, yeah. Other than that, folks, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and, we'll have some streams there and then, and I'll catch you alls next week during the expansion. Hopefully, this time around, it'll be better, different than what it was last year. So, adios, amigos. Good luck with your farming, good luck with grinding. Hope to see you guys all Star Side, and yeah. Adios.